Hello, how are you today? I'm so glad to be here with you. I hope that today finds you happy, safe, warm, and loved. That in everything you do and every thought that you have, you're living life exceedingly, abundantly above all that you can ask or even think. But often we don't, do we? Sometimes, even though abundance is supposed to be ours, we don't see it in our life at all. Now, the question is, why is that? Why, if abundance is our birthright, why are we not living abundantly? Well, let's start at the beginning of that. What does real abundance mean? What does it really mean to be abundant? I mean, is it purely just a measuring stick of the amount of money that's in our bank account? Is it, can we go into the vault and see certain number of gold bars or certain stacks of cash or diamonds or whatever? And that therefore means, oh, yes, you are abundant. Does it have to do with houses and cars, or how young and beautiful you are, or how old and wise you are? What does abundance really mean? And what is real abundance? Because if abundance is purely a matter of a measuring stick for your wealth or your wealthy health, as I've heard some people call it, if that's all that it is, then anytime you suffer financial setbacks, and guess what? Every single successful person you'll ever meet has had greater financial setbacks than most of us would even possibly be able to contemplate. It's not the times when things go wrong that makes them successful or not successful. It's what do they do in those times to get back to even more and better. And even more importantly, how do they act and react in those down moments? How do they live in abundance when their bank accounts don't show abundance? In addition to that, because I brought up health, um, you know, how is a person who has health issues, whether it be, anything from the icky, scary ones, that are like, oh my gosh, I hope I never get that, to something as simple as the fact that with each year that passes, we get older. And, that isn't to say that, age is necessarily a determiner of how healthy you are specifically, but it does have impacts. I've said many times before, my mom will probably outlive all of us. She's just super duper healthy, but she would also be the first one that could tell you all about the challenges that she has now at the age that she is versus the challenges that she had, well, or didn't even think to have when she was 20. So again, if abundance is measured purely by some generic standard of physical health, let's go to emotional wellness. If abundance is about how mentally stable you are, you know, um, then the question becomes, what about those moments when you have doubt? Now, I'm going to give you a perfect example, okay? Because Jesus, all right, on the cross cried out, God, why have you forsaken me? Jesus, who in very nature was God, had a moment of complete doubt. If you go back a few hours before that and you go back into the Garden of Gethsemane when he's praying, he's begging God, can't there be any other way? Can't you just strike down the world with lightning bolts? Or, just say that I did it? Or, do I actually have to go through what he knew he was going to be going through in the next days? It isn't about, um, you know, a level of mental health where things don't go wrong, where you don't struggle, where you might not even have times. I mean, if somebody hurts you deeply, if someone says something to you cruel, it should be a normal response to be hurt by that. And if you're not, then even more so maybe then is when you need to talk to a therapist and be like, this person, they were just absolutely horrendous to me, and I just thought it was the greatest thing in the world. Now, I'm not saying that I don't know people, and I've even had times in my life where when everything was going wrong and it just emotionally I was in a great place. I've also had the opposite where everything was going right and it just there was that feeling inside of you. And we've talked before about the highly intuitive nature of who I am, the empathic nature of who I am, and the potential that what I'm actually feeling in that moment may be another person's feelings. It may not even actually be my own, and identifying that. And those of you that are empathic may need to look deeper into that. But again, if the current emotional feeling that you're having, valid or not, I mean, we're not getting into judgment here. It's just purely a matter of if that was the measure for your abundance, then over the course of any given day, especially any given year, you could go from absolutely abundant to completely broke, or wealthy to broke, if you will, emotionally. And so if money isn't the measure, if physical health isn't the measure, if emotional wellness isn't the measure, then what really is abundance? There's this part of us, and this is going to get really deeply philosophical for you for a minute, and I'm not going to go too far there, but there's a part of us that is more than the physical body we live in, the mind that we think of, the emotions that we feel. There is the spiritual, the inner, the real us that is and always will be, in some sense or another. And we could go total left turn at Albuquerque here and debate all of the different possibilities for what the eternal spirit will be after it's no longer bound inside of what a friend of mine used to call an earth suit. But I don't want to go down that rabbit hole. What I want to talk about is that spirit, because I think that's really where abundance starts. In fact, I know it is where it starts. And it's within that place of the real us that we have to really embrace the abundance that always was ours. And it's important that you hear exactly how I said that. The abundance that always was ours. It is your birthright. Now, that doesn't mean that the family of origin that you were born into wasn't wonderful or horrible. In some of the books I've done with some people, oh my gosh, some of the things that people have been through. But here's the thing, and I want you to take heart, regardless. And I know some of you are going through some stuff right now, and I'm so sorry for that. But I want you to take heart in the fact that you're still here. That thing didn't take you out, and it has others. There are other people that have been through that, whether it be physical, mental, emotional issue, internal or external, that they haven't made it through that. They've had that physical ailment that you currently are dealing with, and it was an end of life event for them. They've had an emotional issue that they were struggling with that took them out. Sometimes, in very personal, suicidal kind of ways, and sometimes just in a matter of they just weren't able to ever overcome it. And on every aspect of who we are, beyond that spiritual aspect of us, that is a possibility of it having been something that would have been a life-ending event for you. But it wasn't. You're still here. And that is the number one beginning, starting clue to the real abundance. to the real abundant birthright that was and is within you. Because you're still here, that means there's more still for you. That means that the world, God, the universe is not done with you yet. And a lot of times we look around our life, we see all the things from our past. We're like, look at all that I've accomplished. And when we hear the world isn't done with us, we take it on like, like we're carrying the world on our shoulders, rather than getting excited by the possibility and the potential that is going to be tomorrow, but more importantly, is today. You're here right now for whatever reason, and it doesn't matter whether you're listening live or it's 100 years in the future. I don't know how long lives are going to last in Facebook, but however long. Right here, right now, today, where you are. There's a reason why you just listened to this, that you just heard it. There's a reason why you're questioning, what is real abundance? How do I live in abundance? Why am I not living in abundance? What's hijacking my abundance? And you're here today. And step number one is you've got to embrace your abundance. You've got to accept it is yours. The spiritual, the deep, the inner, the you that is you is an abundant, thriving, overwhelming, exceedingly abundantly above creation. And we have to embrace that. Real abundance is the ability to be able to do right now. It's not about what happened before. We can't change that. We can apologize for it. Sometimes we blow it. We all do. Okay? And that's all right. We're human beings. Apologize for it. Forgive yourself for it and move on. There is amazing things in your future. Absolutely. Because of the fact that we've established that you're here, therefore there is more for you. There is an exciting, amazing future for you. But right here, right now, is this wide open, beautiful, amazing gift called now. And whatever you're going through, whatever is, has been, was, or will be, you've got right now. And you can show up so powerfully in the right now. Now, you need to understand, often when we think about abundance, again, we think about over-the-top kind of things. It's great amounts of wealth or great amounts of money or, extreme happiness. It may be something as simple as what I call real joy. Joy being the ability that when you're in the darkest of nights, to still believe that there's a dawn. For some of you, the most abundant thing you could do right now would be to just embrace. Take it into your heart. Just embrace. There is still light in me. This is the moment that I have, and I am abundant in it. Everything around me, all of the external, even, the earth suit, all of it does not have an impact on the fact that I am right here, right now, living abundantly. And for some of you, with all that you're dealing with and with everything that today is, that's huge. And that is maximizing while it's called today. I've even said before in other Facebook Lives, sometimes the best thing you can do to maximize today is to take a nap. Take a day off. Find somebody that you really love and give them a huge hug. Just tell them how much you love and appreciate them. All of those things are things that are possible. And they are ways of you maximizing today. Now, who knows? There's somebody that's listening to the sound of my voice right now that when they embrace that abundance, they may actually have the seed for the cure for cancer, for some new thing that I can't even I can't even imagine. But to them, to you, it seems so basic. It's so simple. You're just like, ah, why don't they know? And you just simply take the first step to even just accept within yourself this amazing thing that I do. I've often used the example of doing dishes, because for those of us that were raised to doing dishes our whole life, it's a skill that we just know. We know how to clean dishes, we know how to pack a dishwasher, whatever that might be. It's just something you know how to do. And so when you're doing dishes, you're not like, look at me, I'm doing dishes, right? But what we don't think of in those quote unquote mundane moments is for some people, that is the biggest struggle they have in their day. I knew a person who dishes was literally a triggering event for them. They literally had psychological, they, literally went into therapy to talk about the issues that came up for them every time they had to do dishes. And it had a lot to do with some abuses of their past and things like that, and a whole lot of shoulds, and I won't get into their personal stuff, but through learning and through a person that just simply showed how to make the ritual of dishes a memorable, a memorial, a tribute, a growth opportunity, that person was able to turn dishes into their favorite part of the day. The thing they looked forward to more than anything else in the day was the time that they were going to put the headphones on, have the beautiful, wonderful scents, and just do dishes. So it doesn't matter what the thing is. It's about being the best version of you that you can possibly do, you can possibly be, right here, right now, in this moment, while it's called today. That's abundance. Your ability to be able to have gone through everything you've gone through from your entire life back to a second ago and still be here and still choose. Did you hear that word? Choose to be the very best you can be at right where you are right now. Maybe you're exhausted. And again, like I said, maybe the best you can be is to get the sleep that you haven't been taking, that you should be doing to show up the best you can in the world. Maybe it's singing a song. Sometimes the times that I just break out into praise and worship are the very, very best, most maximized parts of me. And sometimes I wonder, do I have to do anything other than that? That would be wonderful. It's not about the what. It's about the release. It's about embracing the abundance and then letting it flow out of you in a way that you don't even try to contain it. Think about that verse again, exceedingly abundantly above. So that's more in an overflowing basis, more and more and more than is beyond. That's why the verse says, beyond what you can ask or even think. Abundantly. So much of it that there's just no lack, no want. Every time you go back to it, there's even just more of it. And then even above that, above what you can ask, above what you can think. Now that's abundance. Allowing that to flow out from the real you inside of this earth suit and make the difference in this world right here, right now, today. That can be as simple as a smile. That can be just as simple as just being nice to yourself, giving yourself a nice warm hug, looking yourself in the mirror and go, hey, you're a great person. Thanks for being you. Whatever that might be, now that's real abundance. That's what real abundance means. It means maximizing the wonderful you that is you. And I thank you on behalf of the whole of the universe for the fact that you're going to do it. You're going to do it right now. You're going to stop listening to me. You're going to be like, okay, I got to go do this, Steve. And you're going to go live exceedingly abundantly above all that you can ask or even think. And you're going to be thriving and truly free. Thanks so much for spending some time with me. I hope that, as I said in the beginning, you're happy, safe, warm, and loved, that you are thriving, truly free, and living and embracing the abundance that always was yours. Till we're together again next time, have a great week.